Okay, I'm recording again.
Oh,
Welcome back to Smart Donkeys. Oh gosh. Okay, so you were asking about Sega. Yeah, no, I don't think Sega had a whole lot. They had Echo the Dolphin, they had Sonic the Hedgehog, they had Golden Axe. And these are all probably ones that you've never even heard of because I didn't hear about them. Golden Axe. I never even played it, to be honest with you. It's just a beat 'em up style game.
Gotcha. It's like Street Fighter.
Yeah, it was coupled with the system for a very long time. And then Mortal Kombat came out, and it showed up on Super Nintendo, and it showed up on Sega Genesis. And the only difference was that they churned on... there was a cheat code that you could do for Sega that would churn the green, or the sweat. You could turn the sweat to blood. That was it. It was just a color mod. That's it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, that made it really cool because Sega was the edgy console. Which brings me back because you were asking about Nintendo was the family-friendly console for a lot of years, and a lot of that was because there was a crash of video games back when Atari. You've heard of Atari and ET.
Yeah, that's what was around before Nintendo took off.
So there were so many bad games that came out for all those systems, like Atari and Intellivision.
Yep.
Yeah. And what happened is there was the video game industry just died to the point of where no consumer was buying stuff because there was just no regulation of the market anymore. Because everything under the sun was coming into the market. Nobody knew if anything was good or not. Mm-hmm. And then Nintendo came along with their games that had the seal of quality on it. Do you remember any of the cartridges? If you look up on your Game Boy cartridges, they will have a stamp on them that actually says Nintendo seal of quality.
No, yeah. I don't remember noticing it, but clearly they're there.
Yeah. So Nintendo comes on the scene. They have a super high standard for the companies that come in. They are charging a certain amount of royalties. And so basically they're able to regulate what video games were coming in. So you got really good quality games that were coming onto their console, and they were family friendly, and they promoted that really heavily. And they stuck with that all the way up until, I would argue, Wii U. I think the Nintendo Switch is where they're starting to get edgy. If you go on the Nintendo Switch eShop, you can find some pretty rough stuff.
Well, that sounds weird because I feel like there's got to be parental controls that I'm not familiar with enough to because right now my daughter could pick up the Switch, and you're saying she could look up.
Well, I mean, she
could be in the game store and just see what's this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's some pretty raunchy stuff on there.
Oh no!
You might want to check out the parental controls.
Yeah. I feel like we did look into it a little bit. I should recheck that though. I didn't know that.
Well, I have Borderlands on my Switch.
Well, that's not that edgy, is it? Is it?
You can shoot the head off of a guy from 100 yards away.
Yeah, but what kid can't? What?
That's not bad.
Okay, so what?
I have different standards, I guess, of bad.
But. What was your my parents opposed shooting games for the most part, unless we were out at a arcade or a friend's house. But they drug their feet on it till I was probably in 4th grade. Okay. And I mean and then once I got to that, then it was okay, that's not that bad. I feel like.
I mean, I can remember. Yeah, my parents were against because when I was a kid, we played 007 at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to play because that was considered too graphic for me.
At what age? What age were you?
Like 7.
Oh, yeah.
Eh. But I mean, you look back on that now. I mean, it's
Yeah, I see that game as the most iconic N64 game.
yeah.
007.
Yeah.
That and Smash Bros.
I think a lot of people look back on those games really fondly. I know I do.
Yeah, I do too.
If you try to play it now, it's just awful.
Yeah, especially with a controller. I saw a video making fun of like spoofing Nintendo for the controllers.
Yeah,
like the engineer in
that's
charge of the
spaceship.
controllers would be like, "This is too simplistic, but it'll do." And the next one came, I was like, "This is better." But we still got some progress to make. And then they came out with the N64 controller. He's like, "This makes no sense."
Yeah.
This ergonomically doesn't fit.
I always thought it kind of looked like a dinosaur claw. Or
Yeah.
dinosaur footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're weird. The Nintendo 64 was just weird, though. I mean, if you look at the console, you look at the controller, it's all weird. The
Yeah.
whole thing is just weird.
The connection ports, the rumble packs.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But
Rumble packs, memory cards. I mean, the memory cards were huge. Do you remember those
Yep.
things?
I remember the and they took up one of your ports, didn't they?
Yeah, you couldn't use your. You never had a game that also needed a rumble pack and
a memory.
saved. Yeah.
That's what it was. Perfect Dark. To reference back, I don't remember. This is
You needed a memory card.
This is a throwback to one of the earlier episodes.
Throwback. Wow, wow, wow.
Okay. But yeah. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. This was a throwback. We were talking about the controller ports
The
for
control
Perfect
ports.
Dark.
Perfect Dark. I couldn't remember why we couldn't play the majority of the game, but you needed to have.
I'm gonna find
A
a
memory
really,
pack.
I'm gonna find a really nice nursing home for you.
Yeah, it's happening. I'm going going off the deep end. Will you drive me around and feed me pudding?
I'll feed you the pudding. Give it to you.
This was my friend Brian. Brian used to be.
Did you ever see that Family Guy?
I
Where,
can count all the way to potato.
Did you ever see the Family Guy where who was the main co-host on like Quahog News?
It's gonna rain. Is that?
No, well,
Oh.
I mean, he was one of the guys, and this is a part of that. But where they go up, I think they go to like a Baptist church, and he's like, "This man used to be able to speak in full and complete sentences, but ever since he got hit in the head, now he can only speak in short, random bursts." And they like ask him a question. He's like, "I'm doing fine. How are you?" It's gonna rain.
Is it the same person?
Yeah,
same
same
character?
guy.
No,
Same guy.
So that explains the backstory. I never understood.
Yeah,
why
because
he yelled
apparently he
rain.
got hit in the head or something
Man.
like that.
I don't watch enough stuff. But okay.
Anyways.
Sorry to get on the tangent.
Okay,
I wanted to say about Sega because I was always impressed with how long Sega held out. I also aside from going to kids' houses when I was younger and being like, "Yay, video games!" Oh, it's Sega. There was also like as the years kept going, it seems like a decade passed, and I was like, "Holy cow, they're still making games for Sega."
Yeah.
You were like, I thought they went out of business ages ago.
Yeah. I can remember my friend having, I'm going to call it the poor man's system.
Sega?
Of the Sega Dreamcast.
The Sega Dreamcast, yeah.
Because that was in that same age as Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. And I remember like going to his house and going like, "What is this thing you have?"
It felt very much like off-brand Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's like your parents went to the Aldi's.
It's like this is
in the 90s.
this is the bag cereal version of Nintendo.
Yeah, this is the good value version
Yes.
of.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is spot on.
But I will say that Rampage, wasn't Rampage out on Sega? Was that one of the games? Do you
Is that the one
remember
with
Rampage?
Wasn't that the one with the giant monsters that you destroy cities?
Yeah, it was like giant apes versus dinosaurs,
I mean, it
raptors.
Might have been. No, they had a Nintendo 64 version
No
of that.
way.
Yeah.
What? No way.
Yeah. Get it right, Brian.
That's I just ripped off a guy's from. Yeah, that's somebody else's saying. My bad.
Good complete thought there. Thanks for summing that up.
You're
for
welcome.
me. Okay, I'm ready to. You look that up. I'm gonna beat this guy,
Okay.
and I'm gonna beat Flying Bill Cosby here. Here we go.
Flying Bill. Oh yeah, make
Yeah, because I call this Macbeth. Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Oh, you're right. It came out on the NES.
I'm here to rescue you.
Well, I knew it came out on NES. There was a Nintendo 64 had a version of it.
They had a version of it on Atari.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, obviously a bunch of arcade games. That was my favorite
Well, at least we can take
arcade game was
Rampage.
Rampage back then. That and
I didn't know, maybe.
Resident Evil.
Oh, like the one where you actually took the gun out of the holster
Yeah.
and got to shoot.
Yep.
Those were so fun as a kid. To be able to, like, oh, I get to shoot with a son of a. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm sorry. I wasn't ready for that. I thought he was over somewhere else. I was so focused on getting health.
Is it hard to play?
Oh, gosh.
So are you capturing the video content from your computer and not the projection of it?
I am. Think of this as like a filter in between. Oh, balls. Between the signal that's going to the projector, I'm like catching it before it gets to the projector.
Okay, so they're not seeing the spackle over my.
No, they're not.
Okay.
It's not actually recording that. It's just getting. Gosh, I cannot hit the right button.
Well, you folks, you're really missing out. Is probably impeding your line of sight.
Okay, open. Do it. Do it! I forget, do I have to shoot him while... That's right, he's like vulnerable when...
Why does he have to open that thing anyways?
I don't really know. I don't know if I'm doing damage. I can't
Is that
remember
like the
a whole lot about
overheating
this.
thing, or it's like it's?
It could be. I don't know. Brian. These are all questions I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I shoot him after that thing opens. Okay. I got this. Oh, my gosh. It's been
It looks
so
like
long
that looks like a spaceship from Star Wars.
with the guy floating up ahead. I think it's really weird that he can fly, but he has to be pulled by a train.
He's got to be tethered. What's the point of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Come on, game design.
Why does that thing look like it's got teeth inside of it?
Take care of the guy behind me, Fox.
Brian, these are all good questions. I don't have answers to any of them. If I die, so help me. Oh, okay.
Did you die?
No, I stayed alive. Me and my wonky looking little tank. It's gonna explode any minute.
I saw my light flash before my eyes.
Gosh, I hate you, puppy. Just roll over and die.
So lucky.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Arcade games.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't-
Resident Evil arcade game at the local arcades was always the funnest. The console versions, I never played them. I never got into. They got a little too like I don't know. I guess I never played them.
Yeah, I never played any arcade. Well, I can remember my mom bringing me to a mall out this way. Yeah, and because I can remember going to. Oh, we weren't supposed to say where we're at. Shiza. Anyways, I can remember my mom bringing me out here, and there was a mall out this way, right by the.
Yeah.
And I can remember. I don't know, it was some small strip mall, but it had an arcade at the end of it. And I must have been like 3.
It was Chuck E. Cheese, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese. It might have been a Chuck E. Cheese. Now I'm questioning if it's Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know. I thought it was just a regular arcade. Because you can't just walk into Chuck E. Cheese. Don't you have to have like admission? You can't just go in and play games.
I guess I don't know. There used to be like a rinky-dink Chuck E. Cheese out here.
I feel like all Chuck E. Cheeses are kind of rinky-dink.
No, the one in seemed like it was huge. Because the one out here I remember going to when my kids were little. And
the one over by
28th Street.
Really?
That one was always like...
That one does not look good anymore.
Well, I believe it. But that was...
I mean, that was the one to go to.
I also had a birthday party put together there once at a much older age than I thought would have been. Like, it didn't make sense. I was like 14. And then they threw a party there for me, and I was like, okay. It seemed like it had a weird
I always wanted to have a birthday there, but I don't know. My parents always said it was way too expensive. I don't know. Never got to do that. Well, anyway. Well, we'll see you on another episode of Smart Donkeys.
Nailed it. Did I stole it.
Son of a gun. Nailed it!